Well, since I'm stuck in traffic, and this is kind of my 4th of July message, Independence Day message to everybody. And this is serious, and I've kind of got away from politics, and I'm getting back in. I've noticed lately a trend of people's channels just disappearing. And yes, they lean toward the conservative slant, and they're just gone. No copyright strikes, nothing like that. They're just pulled. They're not, these people aren't given warnings. They're just gone. This happened to one of my favorite channels, is the Axe Truth channel. And I don't want to go into too much about Axe. It was comedy. He never really did anything. It was all in comedy. It was like SNL for libertarians and conservatives, you know, and maybe more moderate Democrats. But he got up one morning and his channel was just gone. There was no warning, nothing. His channel was just kaput, bye, see you later. Didn't receive a copyright strike. Now, I kind of knew this was coming from, and I don't want to mention this person's name, get him in trouble. I'm not a name dropper. From a famous kind of country rapper that I happened to be sort of acquainted with. I knew it was coming. So I'm sorry, Axe, that I didn't tell you. But I don't like to drop names, and I didn't ever think that it would happen to you, Axel. I didn't. Because you follow all the damn rules. So I didn't think it would happen to you. You know, of all the people, I didn't. Who thought? You tell jokes. You make everybody happy. The group we had was like mixed of everybody, all walks of lives. People from all walks of life, rich, poor, you know, in between, you know, every skin color, every shade under the sun, every nationality, you know, every sexuality, you know, it didn't matter. And I think that was part of the problem with your channel, is they couldn't figure it out, how we became a family. Because it was just jokes. It was fun. Now, yeah, like I said, it had a conservative slant, but it wasn't based in like meanness like some conservative channels. And some of them, I'm sorry, lean too far right. And it's just, to me, it sounds like yap, 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 the freaking yap. Okay? I don't like that. But Axe wasn't like that. And I'm not going to just make this about Axe. And, you know, and then there's other channels that lean too far left. And I feel like I'm in Russia, old communist Russia or somewhere. Okay? When are we going to get to the happy medium? You know? And you guys know, if you don't by now, I'm a libertarian. I'm kind of conservative. But here I am yet, standing up at Pride, because I think, and doing this and that, because I think everybody deserves a voice. Every damn body. You can't just go around silencing people. That's wrong. You know, you can't silence folks. You know what that is? When you silence people, and you can agree with this or not, but if you just look into a little history, when you silence someone because you don't like the way they look or think or speak, guys, that's fascism. That is plain old-fashioned fascism. That's not being nice or saying, hey, I don't like what you say. Here in the United States, we have something called free speech. So if somebody says something that you don't like, that's when you say, hey, I don't like that, shut the hell up. You say something back to them. Or you just say, shut up, I'm not listening to you no more, and you go listen to something else. They have a right to say what they want. You have a right not to like it. And you can either walk away or tell whoever to shut the hell up. It's called debate. You know, and in healthy debate, you go back and forth with facts. You know, you present your facts, they present their facts, and then you agree to disagree if you can't get along. It's that simple. You don't just take someone's livelihood away or their channel away or whatever. My question's this. And this is not to the regular Democrat, okay? Because, you know, I hang with y'all too. I hang with both sides, so I've heard both sides. This is to these far, I don't even know where y'all are at, far left people. What happens when people start to not like what you have to say? And they start turning you in. And they start taking your channel down. What happens then? What you gonna do then? You gotta think, guys. You gotta really think. That's not cool. And there'll be an outcry, you know, of, well, they took my channel down, blah, blah, blah. But once it's down, what are you going to do about it? That's why we have that as an amendment, is freedom of speech. You can't take people's speech away. You can't. Once you do that, you're a fascist. So we have one side slinging this word fascist around. And I'm not entirely sure they know what that means. Because what they're slinging and trying to sell by that word is what they're doing. So they've become what they're accusing the other side of doing. I'm not saying everybody. I repeat, I'm not saying everybody who is Democrat. I'm not saying everybody who is conservative. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people who are to the far left and the far right. On both camps, we have kooks. So for this 4th of July, you got to think, what do most people really want? What do most people anywhere in the world really want? Well, especially here in America. Because we are Americans. We're Americans above anything. Above anything, we're Americans. This is what we want. We want our children to be safe. We want to be safe. We want to be free. Freedom isn't free. Freedom costs. Okay? You have to fight for your freedom. Our forefathers had to fight for their freedom. We have to continue to fight for our freedoms. And that means if you are more far left leaning, if we didn't fight for freedom, you couldn't do what you do. Because we really would have fascist people here who wouldn't put up with your shit. They would just shoot you and it would be over with. And I'm not trying to say hate speech, honeys. I'm not. I'm trying to explain what fascism really is. Like me, if we really had fascist people, if they were really fascist, I wouldn't be able to go celebrate gay pride and stand there and yell pride, pride, pride. I wouldn't be able to do that. They'd be like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. They'd be like taking me somewhere. Locking me up. Beating me. I don't know. I don't want to know. But because we live in a free country, I'm allowed to go do those things. Yes, those rights had to be fought for. You're exactly right. They did. But anything, any type of freedom is worth fighting for. But you have to be careful how you fight, is the thing. You don't, right now we are so divided as a country. So, like I said, we also want our children to grow up safely. We don't, you know, we want our children to be safe. We want our children to grow up better than we did. Each generation wants that. And I'm not saying coddle your child till it's a spoiled freaking brat. I ain't saying that at all. Trust me. Because if you do that, you get a worthless kid. Ain't none of my kids worthless. They'll work. They work. I have one works and goes to college. She ain't getting no free ride. Hell with that. But, you know, we all want clean water, clean food. We want access to food. Those things aren't free. They cost. Even with all this free college nonsense. Yes, free college sounds good. It sounds real good. But the thing is, say, someone my age decides, once you've gotten your free college, oh, I'm going to be a professional student forever until I die. I'm going to take basket weaving. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to tax you to death. And I'm just going to sit and take basket weaving classes forever. That's how that stuff gets paid for, is taxation and more taxation and more taxation. It's how it's paid for. There's nothing in this life is free. Why do you think people with money come, this is from socialist countries, come to this country for medical care? Because they have to wait so damn long to get here, to get care in their own country, that the rich people come here to get it. But I think in the end, and I'm going to wrap this up, we're all people. We all have the same basic wants and needs. And we need to frickin' realize that pretty darn quick. We all want to be safe. We all want to be loved. We all want our kids to be safe. Doesn't mean taking away guns. That's not going to help. If you look at statistics, they're just going to kill you with something else. We were given that right for a reason. And the very last sentence speaks about guns. It's not about freaking guns, y'all. It's about having a militia. And it's about checks and balances with our government. It's the very last sentence that speaks about guns. So go look that up. Research for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Freaking research it, honeys. I'm being serious. Know what it means before you just go giving your rights away. But really what this video is about is, yes, voices are being silenced. What's going to happen next is they silence those voices. Dissenting voices, voices you may not like. What comes next is your voice. Your voice is silenced. Democratic voices, then liberal voices. And then you know what you hear. just the government's voice and what they want you to know and what they want you to think. If not, bye. They don't care. But on a happier note, I do want to wish everybody a very safe and happy Independence Day. I'm sorry I had to make this topic so deep. I usually don't do this. Just been on shadow ban. I'll be shadow banned again. Nothing new. You know I like to get in trouble. So, but please be careful. And don't hold damn bottle rockets, Roman candles in your hands like a ding dong. But just think on what I said to you this Independence Day. Why our forefathers fought. So that we could have freedom. Even if we sit and yell at each other across the table. Me and my husband don't disagree on everything. He's really conservative. I'm not. Trust me, we get in a lot of battles. A lot of battles. And we end up having to agree to disagree. But that's okay. That's okay. You know, you don't have to agree with everybody. I sure in the hell don't. But just think about it this Independence Day. And keep in mind what Independence Day is. It's not just a big old party where you get drunk. Well, kind of is. But at least keep in mind what it's for. And keep in mind what those freedoms that they fought for are. And why they are there. Our forefathers were not stupid. They saw into the future of what this country would become. So, from my car to you, thank you for joining me today. Have fun today. Stay safe today. Designate a sober driver. No. Designate a sober driver. Or just spend the night at your friend's house. They ain't gonna care. If it was my house, I usually have a house full. I'm just like, yeah, I'll make you breakfast in the morning because I don't imbibe. So, but just watch. Just be careful. Be careful. And I love y'all. And I thank you for joining me today. And yes, I'm sweating like a hog. It's feels like the feel like temperature is 100 degrees. But I love y'all. I'm sorry I had to lecture. It was more of a rant. But just think about it. Both sides. Both sides. Think about it before it's too late. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me today. And as I always say, you got to learn to love yourself. You got to learn to accept yourself. And with that comes that confidence. Once you have that, we can't nothing stop you. And y'all have a very happy and wonderful Independence Day. Stay safe. And I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.